Hi guys! So you know that we've been practicing listening, so now is going to be the tutorial about it. So some of you have asked me to give you some tips and some techniques on how to improve your listening skills in general. So then we'll focus on that now, and later on in time we'll focus on listening skills for the IELTS test. All right, but obviously in order to get a high score in the listening test, you need to get a high level of listening comprehension just in general. So it doesn't matter how many practice tests you actually do if you haven't enhanced your listening skills in general, then it is useless for you. Listening and reading are passive skills, guys. This is a long time process you need to go through in order to improve these skills. Some students tell me, people say that one day you wake up and it happens magically. You understand everything, you listen like a native, you read like a native. Wah wah. This is not true, guys. Things don't happen magically. There is no magic wand. There is only consistency and everyday active listening and reading. Even 3 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, the time you actually can, but every day is already pointing you to the right direction. You need to immerse yourself and practice consistently and steadily every single day. That's the truth. How do you improve reading? By reading, right, guys? I'll show you some tricks and some techniques to improve your skills in another video tutorial. How do we improve riding a bike? By practicing. Musical instrument? By playing. So, how do we improve listening, guys? By listening. As I told you in the last post, you should immerse yourself in different everyday live English material by listening to TED Talks, podcasts, anything you may find interesting is enough. I leave you very useful links down in the comments so you can actually get nice material to listen every day. I'm not joking. That's the work and that's the truth. Every day a little bit. The more enjoyable it is for you, the better, and the longer you'll keep your attention span, which is actually the most difficult thing. If it is boring, you'll switch off very quickly, guys. That's the truth. I always ask my students to listen to as much English as possible at home, whether it be movies, podcasts, whatever it is, songs, news, anything. Then it's easy for you to see the progress. I understand better than a month ago. I read better than a month ago. You'll even see the difference in your IELTS listening practice tests. Remember to always do it under the exam conditions. So remember, it's 30 minutes and you only listen to it once. That's important. But you can do a practice test just once a week maximum, guys. Practice tests will only gauge your progress based on your daily hard work, exposing yourself to English. But practice tests will not help you improve your score. That's not the reality. There is no improvement there because there's no feedback. And you need feedback. The only way we can make IELTS audio tracks useful for our listening comprehension is to actually follow the different steps I proposed to you in the last post. So let's go through it together, right? We could use the IELTS transcript task, or I always do it with my students with the TED Talk, that you have the transcripts as well. You can see the link in the comments if you want to use them too. So the main problem you may encounter when listening to the IELTS test could be vocabulary misunderstanding, pronunciation misunderstanding, generally. So we need to follow all the steps which will help you fix these issues. So, number 1, underline words you don't know the meaning. But number 2, very important, guess the meaning. This is crucial for improving the filing questions type of the IELTS listening test. You know this type when you have some kind of like questions, some kind of like information on the left, and then some blanks that you need to fill in information. Let's say numbers, money, address, things like that, right? Names, maybe. So prediction plays an important role when answering these kind of questions. Many students think that it's not actually that useful, and usually what happens is that you skip that step. That is when your prediction skills actually take action. Not only does it enable you to focus on the area that you will hear, let it be numbers, places, money, as we said, but more importantly, you discard other chunks of information because you know what you're looking for. You realize that if you actually don't skip that step, then is when your listening score will improve. Number 3, check in the dictionary and write down all the different aspects which will help you understand this new word. And obviously, also check if you guessed it right. Number 4, go to the dictation task. Listen, pause it, and write the last sentence you've heard. So you need to do this activity until you've heard every single word in that sentence. So that is what we call micro-listening. Micro-listening involves taking a very short excerpt, maybe 1 or 2 sentences, and then you stop it, you listen to it in isolation, and you do it as many times as necessary for you to write the correct wording 100%. So there is no pressure to get it right, because obviously at the beginning it's very hard and you would improve eventually, but you need to spend as much time as possible to figure out all the words one by one, so then you finally find out why you got the question wrong, all right? So you have to do this with all the wrong answers you've had in the listening test, in the listening practice test. I know it may be hard at the beginning, but trust me, I do this with my students. I do it for around 10 minutes every single lesson, and their listening scores have improved considerably after just, doing this for a few weeks. So please hear me out. Follow my steps, and you'll see this is an active way of using your listening skills. Super beneficial to boost your results in the IELTS test. Listening study plan. Listen to 20 minutes of radio news, podcasts, TED Talks, etc. every day. Remember, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, anytime you can. Get into some British Council practice for General English one day. Another day, do one practice test. As I told you, just once a week, maximum. And the most fundamental part to actually boost your listening skills. Do the micro-listening with the worst parts you had in the IELTS test. Following all the 4 steps as much as you need, and you can take days here. So guys, let me know in the group how you've been doing, if you've taken action, what part do you struggle with the most, if you have been practicing all these step-by-step listening practice. So that's it, guys. I hope this helps. Bye-bye.